what I love about Joseph Campbell is that it's all about stories that touch people's hearts, and it's the power of myth.
Yeah.
And I think one of the key films he's looking after is one of the key things he talks about is myths to live by. And I think storytelling's about getting to the heart of everyone's myth. And one of the things he used, which I thought was great, he said, basically, myths are public dreams, and what does it say? And for individual dreams are private myths.
Interesting. I'm not sure I fully follow that. Yeah, can you break that down for me?
Well, a little bit. So what we dream about at night, our dreams, become our private myths.
Got it.
Words, what's touching you? In other words, and it gets down to very, Jungian and philosophy. But I maybe haven't said
my anxieties.
Yeah.
My anxieties, my fears, my exes, all that stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I think I think 8 out of the top 10 movies of all time are based upon Joseph Campbell's story arc, The Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
Which starts
a story I love. Sorry, go on.
No, go. Sorry.
One of my favorite, probably actually my favorite startup story is Brian Chesky, Airbnb, and his team when they were early on. They hired a Hollywood writer to write out using the hero's journey framework. I'm sorry, this is a Pixar writer, like Pixar.
Yep.
And they had that writer create a whole storyboard, pretty much up until the point of like creating the film, of what the most amazing Hollywood level, blockbuster level Airbnb story would be, of somebody who goes on a vacation and stays at an Airbnb.
Yep.
And the storyboard that came out of that was the source of their entire UX, basically.
Wow. Yep. And I get that, because it's getting to the core of being human.
Yeah.
And because the whole thing about what Joseph Campbell did was he went to many of the cultures of the world, many of the religions of the world, and he discovered that these aren't multiple myths. There is one myth that connects. We have a global world human myth, because there's common themes in every culture and in every religion.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that religion, don't normally touch on religion, but religion concretizes myth, makes it history rather than a story.
Yep.
And that way it loses its power.
Yep.
The challenge is we have to work out what myths we're going to live by in a modern age, because the cosmology that drove myths years ago about the universe, science has actually disproved that. So this is a really interesting time in terms of what are the myths we're going to live by today in 2023.